So what happened in the LA Times on Friday? You have Donnie Youngblood, who's a sheriff in Kern County, talking about violence. You have police pushing back protesters. And you have a great catch made by a baseball player. You know, I picked up my first camera actually on my 9th birthday. It was given to me as a birthday present. I was born in 1961, and the Life magazines and Look magazines that were strewn in the house were things that I sat and looked at as a child a lot, and began to think about what it meant to make photographs and how these photographs begin to actually create a larger narrative. But I started mapping things out at that point. Being and Having was the first body of work that actually got shown in a gallery. So one of the things that I was doing is, you know, still looking around in relationship to my neighborhoods and my communities. And at the same time, I was going out with my friends on my motorcycles, all dressed up in leather and wearing fake mustaches. And so basically I gave my friends money to go buy mustaches at the Hollywood wig store on Hollywood Boulevard. There's humor in it, but also within humor, you can explore all these kind of other relationships of what it is to deal with homophobia and how it's constructed within our society. I was making myself vulnerable because I knew that I had to put myself within the body of work for the body of work to actually function in relationship to a larger identity, that I couldn't just be a voyeur within my own community, that I had to be a participant in it. Without representation, you can't make change. And I think that all of us are incredibly vulnerable, and that's where this base of fear comes through, is this vulnerability and the lack of education. And so community is a great way to begin to articulate the more complex ideas around that. Constantly try to reinvent your own self as an artist, I think. The huge shift for everybody who had thought of me just as the studio photographer who is making queer photographs. All of a sudden they were looking at platinum prints of freeways. And I remember the first time I showed them was in Long Beach. This person looking at the photographs and going, oh, they've got the wall labels wrong. This isn't Catherine Opie's work. And it was like, okay, that was exactly why I had to make that shift. Because if you look from age 9 all the way through of never not putting down a camera, there is so many different layers in relationship to what I'm interested in terms of creating representations. I think it's really hard to be a photographer right now. The incredible amount of images in our society have allowed us to read images really quickly. But what is that quickness in relationship to how images form history? So I've been collecting every cross-section of magazine as well as every LA Times since Trump has been elected. And every day, all the images are cut out of the newspaper. A lot of guns. You know, hands holding guns. Slinkies and guns, who knows? I would never want to say good subject matter, but I feel like pressing up against it is important in relationship to understanding the incredible complexities that we face in terms of humanity and living in this world. I know how photography can serve us and what it is supposed to be doing, but is it doing it in a way that's allowing the discourse to move forward is a place of great questioning for me.